It's always a pleasure to have you on this channel. You're welcome to Firstlady Fashion and Style. And today we'll be learning how to draft and to sew this asymmetric top you're seeing. It's a very beautiful style, and it's possible for you to have two methods on the same top. Like on this top here, we have both the princess dart and the off shoulder put together. So we're going to be drafting it together. So for this pattern, we need the full draft of our body. If you have not subscribed, this is the time for you to subscribe, because when you subscribe and like, you are telling me that this content is useful and I should keep doing more. So please, if you have not subscribed, this is the time for you to hit the subscribe button, and then let's move up this channel on together. So today, this asymmetric style, we will use one of the side for the princess dart and the other side for the off shoulder. Please pay attention, it is very easy. So this side, we'll be using this side for our princess dart and this side for the off shoulder. So I want us to start with the princess dart. So from here, I have drafted my basic bodies and I decided to use 1 inch for the dart intake. I want to use the straight dart. I told you that the straight dart will work as much as the other ones we've been using on this channel, but for some people it's easier for them to sew with this straight dart. So you can take 1 inch on both sides, you can take 0.75, you can take ½ inch here, 2 inches here. That is not too much, but please, anyhow you take it, it should not be more than 3. So this is the bust separation, that is 4, and I took 1 inch on both sides, and I've taken the measurements, the waist here. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to construct the princess dart on this side. You can decide to use any side you want, but I want to use this side for the princess dart. And while you're constructing your princess dart, please make sure that the line you are using is not curvy. Make sure it is straight. So I'm going to connect it straight to the half, where I have my half of the armhole here, and then from there I will come down by 1.5, and then I will connect it this way to the 1.5, but I won't stop here. I'm going to bring it out by 1.5 inches this way, because we are constructing a new armhole so that we don't have any shortage when we cut. And then I'm going to connect it back to the armhole this way. So the next thing I'm going to do is my underbust. I'm going to contour my underbust this way, here to this point, and then on this side I'm going to take it this way to meet this point this way. So you can see that is done. It's very easy. So the next thing we are going to do is the neck. I'm going to adjust the neck. I'm going to go out by 1 inch away from the neck, and then I'm going to stop this pattern here. But before I do that, the difference between my front and my back is 1.5. The draft at the back pattern is 1.5 shorter. So I'm going to put my bust dart here. So for now, let's leave this side. Let's move on to the other side, where we have the off shoulder. So the first thing I'm going to do is on the shoulder here, I'm going to divide this shoulder into 2, and then I'm going to connect this line to the bust point this way. So now, to determine how deep I want my neckline to be, it depends on you. I told you, you can measure from your neck to your cleavage measurement. So I want to go down by 7, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get to 9. So everything I'm going to do will stop at 9. So the first line here will be 7, and then everything will end up at 9 here. So I don't want it to go deeper than that. So on the line here, I'm going to take 0.75 on both sides. Sorry, okay. This is 0.75 here, and on this side, this is 0.75, and I'm going to connect both lines to the bust point this way and this way. So on this line here, I'm going to input my bust dart measurement, the 1.5, and connect it here to the bust point. So I'm going to use my ruler to connect this one to connect this to the bust this way, and then to this side I will connect to the bust this way. So yes, I hope you can see that. So the next thing we are going to do is, for this off shoulder, we have to construct a new armhole here. So for you to get from your chest line here, for you to get where the new armhole is going to start from, you are going to measure your strap to strap measurement. Yes, strap to strap measurement. You are going to put your tape rule and measure from one strap of your bra to the other side. So for this draft, I have 10. So because we are just drafting one side, I'm going to divide the 10 by 2. That will be 5. So I'm going to measure from here to this place where I have my dart leg, and take my tape rule, skip this place and start from here until I get my 5. So this is 3.5 here. I'm going to take here, start from here, and then this is where I have my 5. So from this 5 here, I'm going to mark from my shoulder slope, my original line, my original arm hole. I'm going to divide it by 2, and then whatever value I get, I'm going to bring it to this new armhole here, and then all the way down and draft. If I check it, I have like 3.25 from here. I have like 3.25. But before I draw the line, I have to close this bust dart here. So I'm going to open this one here so that I can close the bust dart this way. And then when I close the bust dart, I'll use my tape to hold it down. Sorry, I'll use my tape to hold down the bust this way. Then the side, I'll make sure they are aligned properly this way. So if I measure my 3.25, I'm going to have it around this place. So I'm going to measure it down this way, and then I'll measure it out this way. I'm going to measure it out this way. Okay, I hope you can see here. So I'm going to try and measure from here to see that I still have my 3.25. Yes, I still have my 3.25. Then on the new armhole here, I'm going to use my curve ruler to curve this way to form my new armhole. So you can see that it's very easy. Then for us to form the sweetheart neckline here, I'm going to close this dart here and use my curve ruler this way to curve from that part to where I want my sweetheart neckline to get to. So you can see the sweetheart neckline is formed. So now that we have how deep, we have marked the depth of the line here, then we will connect the princess, the shoulder, this side that has a shoulder, will connect it to this point because they have to meet at the same point here. So I'm going to take 1/2 inch on the shoulder for my shoulder tightening here. So you can see that it's very easy. We are done with the drafting. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to add the necessary seam allowances, and then I'll transfer to fabric, and then we'll sew it. So now we are going to work on the back pattern. So you are going to match the front and the back together. This side is going to face the side that has the princess dart. So this side is going to be the princess dart, and this is going to be the off shoulder. So let's work on the side that has the princess dart first. So for the princess dart, you can decide on where you want your style line to be. You can decide that you want to go this way for your style line and just connect it this way. And you can decide to divide your shoulder measurement here into 2. I'm just showing you different ways you can do it. and connect it to the bust point this way, and then slash it and sew it anyhow you want it. But if you are coming to the side here, please make sure you come out by 5/2 inch here, and then you connect it back to the armhole. You connect it and form the new armhole so that you don't have a shortage. So for this back here, I'm going to use this princess, that line here. And then for the back, make sure you also tighten the back here by 0.25. The front we tighten by 1/2 inch here, tighten by 0.25. Then we are to decide how low we want our back to be. And then for the front, remember we went in by 1 inch. So don't forget to also go in by 1 inch. But I want this draft here, I just want it to stop at the chest line. So this is where the chest line is going to be. So let's just stop at the chest line for this one here. And it's as simple as that. So let's move on to the other side here. So for this place is going to be the side for the off shoulder. So remember we came down from the other one, we came down by 7 inches this way here. We came down by 7 inches to mark the chest, the new chest line. So we are going to repeat it. And then for the top here, we divided the top here into 2 this way and connected this line to the bust line. So we are still going to do the same thing, but for this draft, we are going to tighten both sides by 0.25 on both sides. Just tighten by 0.25 on both sides and connect. It's just the upper bust, it's just the upper back tightening. So what we want to do next is we want to construct the new armhole. Remember what we did for the front, and I wrote here 2.75. That is the line we use. So I'm still going to come down from the new chest line by 2.75. Yes, I'm going to come down by 2.75. But before and I'm going to rule it out here. This is where we are going to form our new chest line, our new armhole. So I'm going to measure here. We did 5 for the front, so I'm going to measure from here, and whatever value I have here, I'm going to move it to the other dark line until I get to my 5. So this is where my 5 is. So I'm going to roll this line all the way down to connect to where my chest line is. And I'm going to use my curve ruler to curve it this way. So it's as simple as that. So this is where our new chest line is going to be. But please make sure that this line here, and this line here, they must meet. So I want everything to meet at the back chest line here. So I'm going to connect from the new armhole here. I'm going to just slant it this way so that I can have a connection between this off shoulder and then this line here. You can see it clearly now, so that I can have a connection. So the back is quite simple. So that is all for the back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it out. So this is what we have for the front and the back. You can see our symmetry blouse is coming out. So this is going to be for this side, and this is going to be for this side. Remember, this is how I'm going to turn it, and it's going to be for the back. Let me just try and arrange it. And this here, I'm going to turn it this way, and this is going to be for this place, and it's going to form the nice design we are seeing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the fabric, and I'm so excited we're going to sew it together. So I have gone ahead to place all the patterns. I placed them on this fabric, and I added my sewing allowance to it. On the side here, I added 1/2 inch, and this side here I added 2 inches, and I applied my interface on this. I did the same thing for the body Here I added 1/2 inch by the side. I also added 1/2 inch on the top here because I'm going to turn it in with the lining. So I did that for both the front and the back. And here is the lining I'm going to use for it. So you can also put your interfacing on the lining. So right now I am going to take out this space and we are going to join the fabric together. So for you to join your fabric, always start from the bottom side to join your breast cut. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it together. Always start from the bottom side this way. Make sure you don't pull on it. Just hold it firm and make sure you sew on 1/2 inch. Make sure you sew on 1/2 inch. I'm using a light color for you to see. You are supposed to sew on 1/2 inch. You marked 1/2 inch for the allowance. Make sure you sew on 1/2 inch. So you can see I'm done with this side here. Everything is matching at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second part here. I'm going to put the other side on it and then I'm going to join it. Start from the bottom and make sure you join on 1/2 inch. I'm using a lighter thread for you to see my 1/2 inch. We are going to sew into it. Follow the curves. Make sure you follow the curves. Follow the curves and sew on 1/2 inch. So right now I'm done with this side. You can see our asymmetric is coming out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, you see it's already coming out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to iron it. Make sure you open up the seam this way. Open up the seam and iron. And I'm going to sew the lining too and the back side. So I've gone ahead to sew. This is the back. This is the back, you can see. I added my lining and then this is the lining for the front part. You can add your interface to the lining to give it more structure. See, I opened it up. Make sure you open yours up. And on the center, on the lining too, I also open it up. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to join the lining together this way, the wrong side facing the wrong side. And remember in my last video, I showed you a trick that I use in joining my neckline together and it gives it a very good outcome. I'm going to hold the center with the pin and then I'm going to use this is called the Emmy gum. I'm going to place the Emmy gum as I sew the neck. So I'm going to sew it round and then I will turn it. After sewing, make sure you notch the neck side before you turn it over, especially the center where you have the sharp hair. Make sure you notch and then you turn it over. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to iron it down. I'm going to use my iron. I'm going to press it down and join the sides. So I'm done with the body. You can see I went ahead to join the sides. See everything looking very nice. And then for the back side too, I have joined the side and the side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my measurement for this pattern and then I'm going to join the sides together. Here's the completion of our asymmetric top. You can see it. This is where we have the off shoulder. You can add the sleeve of your choice. And this other side is where we have the princess dart here. So the back side here, we're going to finish it up with the zip. Just put your zip here and that will be it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Please make sure you practice. Make sure you subscribe to encourage me to do more. If this is what you want to see, if you like this content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.